Just for time's sake there, of course, a lot did happen, but Aitana Bonmati gets her first trophy. We still have Felix Romark here joining us just to get reaction after the 2023 Ballon d'Or winners were announced in France. Felix, I know you've got your reservations about the award, but before we go into your reservations, Victor Osimhen, let's put him in the fore right now. He made history, becoming the most successful player and first to ever be ranked in the top 10 of the Ballon d'Or award. So what do you think this achievement, what impact will it make on the African scene and also Nigerian scene?
Well, we shouldn't also forget the fact that there was a Pongia who won it, the only African who have. But I think that I was very, very happy with the performance of the African players. Victor Osimhen clearly was a shining light in European football for Africans. What a season he had with Napoli. It's just sad that they don't really appreciate him. I'm sure that will be a topic for another day. But I'm very happy with what he achieved under the year and coming eighth. I would have wanted him to even get into the top four. Mo Salah coming in 11, Andre Onana 23rd. It's quite impressive. And then Assisat also, becoming the 20th best player in the world in terms of women's football. So it wasn't really a bad year for Africans on the Ballon d'Or. But my reservation has to be the voting party. Does Messi deserve it? That is where the conversation starts from. Because you look at the achievement of Erling Haaland under the year, it was massive in terms of the stats, in terms of the number of games played, in terms of goals. But then again, we all realize that it was the World Cup that did the trick for Messi, because if you ask me if he was the best player within the year under review, I would say no. But the World Cup did the trick for him, because you have 7 players who have won the World Cup and the Ballon d'Or in the same year. Bobby Charlton did it in 66, Paulo Rossi in 82, Lothar Matthäus in 1990, Zinedine Zidane in 98, Ronaldo from Brazil in 2002, Fabio Cannavaro in Germany 2006, and then Messi this year. So it looks like if you get the opportunity or if you win the World Cup, it becomes very crucial in you winning the Ballon d'Or.
So if you win the World Cup, Felix, I'm sorry to butt in, what happened in 2010? What happened in 2019? They did not win the World Cup at that time. But because of time, I'm very sorry to butt in here. The Yashin Trophy caught my attention. We did see World Cup winners. You did say if you win the trophy, maybe it gives you an edge. Emiliano Martinez, he takes on the Yashin Trophy. But in the ranking for the Ballon d'Or, we had Yashin Bono, a Moroccan goalkeeper, being ranked ahead of Emiliano Martinez. So how did it finish up with the Yashin Trophy?
Yeah, so that's why I want to come up to the electoral college. We have journalists voting for these players, and they always have favorites, and that is the reason why we've had Messi, Ronaldo winning it, because they have the numbers. They have huge Twitter followers, huge social media followers. If I ask you who is the president of Argentina, you might not know. But everybody knows Messi comes from Argentina. So because of their numbers, it would always be difficult to compete with them. And I'm surprised. Why would Martinez win that when he is not even among the top? But then again, he won the World Cup. He's from Argentina. He has his friend, a colleague, Messi beside him. And that is the reason why, because nobody or no footballer playing outside Europe has ever won the Ballon d'Or. But Messi won it because he had the numbers, because he won the World Cup. So it boils down to the electoral college, because journalists will always have their favorites, even when they are not performing or even when they did not have a very good year under review. And that is where I think that maybe going forward, the Ballon d'Or really needs to change the composition of their electoral college, because everybody in there, you are either a Ronaldo fan or a Messi fan, and that has always influenced their pattern of voting.
So right now you're blaming favoritism and preferences. Haaland was an absolute goal.
I'm not totally blaming it, but I think that it plays a key role in deciding who gets to win it.
Okay, but next to Lionel Messi in the ranking is Erling Haaland. We know how he won the treble for Manchester City.
If I may ask you, if the table had turned, imagine Erling Haaland winning the World Cup, imagine Messi winning the treble and scoring the most goals in Europe. Do you think Erling would have won it winning the World Cup? And I'll tell you no, because the sentiments will come in, the favoritism will come in, the Messi numbers will come in, and that is where the challenge Yes. And see, one thing about the Ballon d'Or, I tell you, Messi is one of the, in fact, he's one of the best players in the world. So he will always be loved by many, including those who get the opportunity to vote for the Ballon d'Or winners.
All right, congratulations to all the winners. I will not say I'm so jealous of them. Copper Trophy going to Jude Bellingham. We've got the Socrates
I
Award.
want to say something.
All right, please do.
One of the nicest thing I admire about the night was the Nigerian performance, Romark. Excellent,
Yes.
and I think that
Exceptional
so
performance.
Well.
You know, Nigerian artists. Let's just deviate a bit. Have been taking the stage, the center stage. We had, and I enjoyed the way I saw the reactions from the ballers. They were also, nodding the head, shaking, having to giggle there, that they really do know the song. They vibe to the song. About the recognition, when the 20 players were recognized for the Ballon d'Or were called up to the stage. 7 players were chosen from the women's football on the biggest award night. But out of that 20, we had only 7. I'm a bit concerned here, because if you look at the performance of these women from the just concluded, we just had the World Cup. Just away there. You can't say you can pick out only 7 and leave the remaining 13 from men who are coming from last year's World Cup in 2022. Don't you think this is an unbalanced situation?
Well, I think that when it comes to football, we will never have balance when it comes to the men's game and the women's game. In the sense
we should be able to close the gap.
And I think that, let's be very honest, the gap is closing. We saw from the world, gone are the days when you watch the World Cup and it's just a kick about and hoping that the ball will enter into the net. But look at the quality that we saw at this World Cup. Look at the Moroccan team being at the World Cup for the first time. Look at the Nigeria versus England game at the World Cup, one of the best games I witnessed. Look at the Colombians. It wasn't just about kicking the ball, and there was a lot of tactics, there was a lot of technical know-how, and there was good exhibition of football. So I can tell you that the gap is gradually closing. 13-7 is not a bad idea, and I'm sure. And even look at the World Cup, the time zone, but people were waking up in various countries and watching the World Cup. The gap is closing. A time will come. You might even have the split that you wanted, but I think that the development of the women's game has been immense. I love women's game. I pick data. I'm a brand manager for Ampindakwan, who defeated the Nigerian team to qualify for the
time not our friend, Romark.
Yeah, so we are getting there. We are getting there.
All right, I'm hoping that we get to the final destination. Time not our friend. We have to call it a wrap on the show. It was an interesting conversation with you. And we are hoping that the French football would take into cognizance all these reservations coming from fans of the Ballon d'Or. Thank you so much, Felix Romark, for joining us today on the show.
Thank you.